Hello everyone, this is Jackie Williams. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I want to share with you a very cute and fun idea using the, sorry for the shine, the 2 3/4 inch circle punch. And this idea was inspired by Katarina Tarta Crafts on Instagram. And for my sample, I'm going to use the Decorative Trees bundle, but I do have some other samples to share with you at the end of the video as well, so you can get some inspiration to give this a try. So we want to start with a card base, and it can be, of course, any size, but I'm going to use a standard 5.5 by 4 1/8 card front size. And then I'm going to take, sorry, I'm just going to point out on the folded edge, I'm going to take the circle punch and slot that in, and you could put it, anywhere that you want. I'm going to go about 1/3 up from the bottom and do about maybe 3/4 of the circle here, and then give that a punch. And you'll end up with this little folded thing here, and we'll set that aside. So your card base is going to look kind of funny at this point. It will look like this. Now I would like to put a couple layers on the front, and you could, if you were just using one piece of designer series paper, so thin paper, you could put that on and then punch all of it together. But because I have 2 layers of cardstock, I didn't think the punch was going to go through all 4 layers. So I'm going to punch these separately. I think what I will do is put these together. I'm just going to not put adhesive where it's going to be about right there. And then this piece is actually going to sit, well, I guess it doesn't have to. I think I will. I'm going to put it all the way over to the left-hand edge. That's personal preference. Let's see how this works out. And then I'm just going to mark on the back here where that punch needs to be. Okay. And then go ahead and punch that out. Now we can put these together. Now this piece I'm going to put onto this little folded bit. You might as well make a little tag rather than just throwing it out. It's a good way to use up your little, well, I end up with a lot of little extra die cuts and things, so you could use those on that. Before I do some embellishing, I'm going to go ahead and put the inside piece in, because I'm going to arrange my trees around the words, and the words are going to go here. I'm pushing that all the way into the crease here. And then I'm going to use the A Very Merry Christmas from the Decorative Trees, because it's a tall word, or even kind of more of a square word rather than a long word. So this works better for the space that we have. Now we can go ahead and put this in, but I would suggest that you put your adhesive on this piece. If you put it on this piece, there's a chance you'll put it where it's going to show through the hole. So I'll show you in just a moment. Let's put that in. Okay, so you don't want to have adhesive here. I'm just going to leave this. You could cover it up or add something extra on the back. I don't mind that little pop of color on the back of the card. Okay, now let's start embellishing our card. So I was quite drawn to all the fun trees, so I've selected a few. I wanted to point something out about that one. You'll notice that there are tall trees with 5 tiers of leaves, and then there are some shorter ones with 4 tiers of leaves. But there's only one outline tree. And maybe you're more clever than me. It took me a while to work that out, why there was only the one. So let's carry on, and I'll explain that as we go. So let's start with the Coastal Cabana tree, and I'm going to stamp it with the outline and that detailed stamp in Coastal Cabana ink onto Coastal Cabana cardstock. And then we'll go and cut that out with the outline die, and we'll have something that looks like this. I'm going to take a blending brush and the Coastal Cabana ink and just blend a little bit of color along one side. And I've taken inspiration for doing this from one of the samples right out of the catalog. Next, I've used these little dies here with gold foil to add some embellishment to the tree. Okay, so we'll put that one on. Already looks quite happy. And I'm just going to interject, because I failed to say it earlier, that the embossing folder on the background is the snowfall embossing folder. It doesn't actually snow where I live, and we don't even have Christmas in the winter, but I still think the snowflakes are a very pretty just embellishment. Okay, next I have cut one of the details of the trees out of the Granny Apple Green glitter paper, and this is in the pack that has red glitter paper and 2 shades of green in there, and I'm undecided if I want that solid tree behind, so I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. Okay, now let's do a berry burst tree, and I want to cut this one here, which I discovered is actually very difficult to glue on. So I am using the adhesive sheets. So you just peel a little bit off and put it on the back. I've got some overlap here. I might just leave that piece off. I don't want to get adhesive all over my cutting plates. So now I have basically a sheet of double-sided tape on the back of my glitter paper. And then I'll run this through the die cutter. I've got my little mini machine here. And I don't advocate cutting it through twice, going back and forth, but in this instance I will, because I'm cutting through glitter, cardstock, and adhesive. I think I'll even remove that and run it through one more time. Now before I put that on, I think I would like to ink this tree a little bit as well, just to make that background a little more interesting, even if it's just very subtle. This is the Take Your Pick tool, and this is really great for pushing pieces out. And then this is the die cutter brush that is an optional attachment. There is a little pad that you can use. I often just use it in my hand just to get it out of the die. And then you can use this to go ahead and get out some of the pieces. One of the cool things about the adhesive sheets is not only, of course, that it provides adhesive, but often when you pull that off, a lot of the little bits come with it, the bits that you want to get out of the die. I'll just line that up and place that on the tree. So you'll notice that I'm using the large tree even for this smaller tree image, because you can just take your scissors and trim this off. So that large tree die actually works for both sizes of trees. Okay, so now we just need to decide, I like these colors, if I want to have a solid tree behind here. Oh, I think it looks good either way. I think I'm gonna go without. Okay, so let's just put these down. Now, I did use adhesive sheet on the back of this one as well, so something like this. And for the Coastal Cabana tree, I've not put dimensionals on that side because I want it to overhang into the circle a little bit. Maybe I'll put it down like this. I want it significantly lower than that one. And then we'll put our little berry burst. Now then, there is a die in there for some tree trunks. You could pretty easily cut these, but it comes with the set, so you might as well use them. And I've opted to use black to tie in the black words. And it also, because I'm using such vivid colors, it helps just make them really stand out, I suppose. Okay, then the last thing we need to do is add embellishments. And I'm going to go for the gold sequins because they match the gold here. Another good option would be to use these shimmer gems in the Summer Splash. And there we go. And then when you open up the card, you have this little window here and your words here. You could add another tree if you would like. And then that little piece that I cut off, and you might just throw it away, but you might as well maybe use some of the pieces that for example, I cut and then didn't end up using in the design, and just use that as a little tag to tie onto a gift. You might as well use it. Now here is another version that I made earlier. To be honest, I don't love it as much. This one's using the Regal Flora papers and the Pretty Peacock glitter paper. I like this tree. That turned out quite nice to have the flower print on there. And then I have gold embossed the words for this one for a little more elegant look. Now let me share with you some other samples that I've made with this concept. So here's one with the Simply Zinnia dies, and for this one I put the words in here and then the elements on the piece, and then you open up and you still see the words. For this sample I have put the flower on in the circle, and so when you open it up you still have that 3D dimension on the inside. So this is quite a nice way to do it as well. And for this sample, I've used the snow globe papers. And again, I've put the element there within the circle. And I've used printed paper to keep the rest of the card interesting. And then put the words here on the front. And then when you open that up, you have your snow globe still inside your card. And I made a little tag out of the leftovers of that as well. That turned out quite cute. And then using the Humble Home bundle, which is a personal favorite. This time I've done a different size and a different orientation. Used the sample in the Stampin' Up! Catalog as inspiration for the colors and the little gingerbread house. And this particular sample will be part of my 12 Weeks of Christmas series. If you have not joined my newsletter list, please do so. I have the link in the video description. And again, I use the leftover cutout piece here to make just a cute little tag with the Humble Home stamps and images. And that's our project for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you give this one a try. And again, a big thank you to Katarina Tartar Crafts on Instagram for her wonderful idea. I've had lots of fun playing with it, and I hope you do too. If you know someone who would enjoy this project idea, please share this video with them, leave me a comment, and of course subscribe. This is Jackie Williams, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.